Welcome everyone, back for another video. I know we're banging them out. We did a part 2 on Q&As because the first one has gone so well. Loads more questions on our Insta page, so check it out at The Great Emigrate.
And also, if you could like this video and subscribe, it would really help the channel. We seem to have gained lots of new subscribers lately, which is great, and lots of new followers on Instagram, and I really appreciate you watching our videos.
Thanks everyone. So I'll crack on. We've got another 10. So start off.
It's hard to pick which ones, isn't it? Because some things we can't even answer yet, like how to buy a house here, we don't know. But so we've selected some of the questions that we can definitely help you with.
Keep sending them in, people. It's good that we've got everyone's interested in our videos and trying to help people as well. So yeah, we'll start with the first one is, what is the process for getting a driver's license over here?
I can't actually remember. I can tell you how to change address.
I know you've got, when you move over here, you've got 3 months and you have to get your Australian licence. So you just go down, or when it's just down the road, but you go to like the Australian Transport Department. You've got to take a proof of address. So your that's just the dog, she's just rummaging through paperwork. So you've got a rummage dog. So to get your licence, you need to go to the Department of Transport. You need to take proof of address, I think a passport and your English licence. I think there's a fee involved in there, is there like?
There's definitely a fee, and you have to sit down for a photograph and they stretch your photo and make you look very weird.
So photos aren't flattering.
Maybe it was just ours.
Well, even he might have had it in for us, but I think it's about $70. I think you got like option. I think it's you can do it for 1 year, 3 or 5, I believe. So yeah, just proof of address, proof of who you are. I think they just go down there, fill out a form, and they'll give you a Australian one.
And if you want to change address, that's really easy as well. You don't have to pay. You go to the same place, you just take your driving licence, tell them your new address. I don't think I even showed proof of my new address. And they note it all down and they say, we'll send you a sticker in the post. And it's literally just a little sticker that you stick on the back of your driving licence.
Sometimes if you keep moving home a lot, you'll have a licence. That's thick, but yeah, so there you go. Hope that's helped you guys out.
Next question. How is the internet connectivity here?
Firstly, it's more expensive. So I think for 100 megabytes, I think we're about $90 a month. Whereas back in England, we were paying £25 for 1 gigabyte. So probably 10 times faster. It's a bit bad. So if you like playing your Xbox or anything like that, or you're all kind of streaming at once, it's a bit hit and miss.
It's not the best.
We're trying a different provider now. We're with Aussie Broadband. I think the service is better, but again, I think even speaking to a few Australians, they've said that their network in general is a bit...
I just can't get over the price. I think $90 is probably one of the cheaper ones as well, but we did just change our deal in the UK as well, and we're not even paying £25 anymore. I think it's like 1 or something. So obviously, if you've watched the shopping video, my conversion's not great. So how much is $90?
So probably like £46.
Yeah,
roughly. That's a lot. You've compared it to England, so you've got to do it. At the end of the day, if you want internet, there is cheaper plans, but it's like, I think now the slowest speed's like 25 meg, so it's basically opening emails. I think you'll stream Netflix very well.
But what we have at the moment, like I'm on Teams calls all the time and I'm always dropping out. It's always saying poor connectivity. So yeah. It's
not great. But
anyway,
apart from that, the sun's good. Well, it's not sunny.
What are public libraries like here?
Well, we've only been to one. Easy to join. I think you just got to have proof of address, I believe, and like your driving licence. I think it's just your driving licence because it's got both.
I did notice at our library they have a really nice roof terrace and a cafe, so that was quite nice. And they have a little, I think I posted some pictures on the Instagram page, but they have a little lending library outside, so when the library's closed you can just help yourself to books. Other than that, it's pretty standard. They've got everything you need in there: desks, chairs, internet.
Internet's free to use.
books.
You don't really need to book a computer, you can pretty much go on one, pay to print, but it's fairly cheap. I think it's like 20 cents.
I feel like they've got toilets in there as well, which I'm not sure I've ever seen toilets in a library in the UK before.
So yeah, they're pretty good. Decent cafes, nice view overlooking Raby and all that stuff. So anyway, so libraries get a thumbs up, internet, no. Right, so are there any major differences in everyday shopping? Well, if you look at our other video, somewhere up there or there, a link to it, see that there was a bit of difference, isn't there really?
Maybe not to give the game away if you haven't watched the shopping video, but I guess I didn't really realise perhaps how much more expensive things like food is here, but it really varies. Petrol's way cheaper, food perhaps is a little dearer. You can buy clothes probably cheaper than you can buy in Primark here.
Yeah. If you go like to the outlets like Harbour Town and stuff like that.
It swings and roundabouts, and it's just different, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. How do I get a mobile phone plan? Pretty much the same again, isn't it? I think when we first arrived, we bought pay-as-you-goes, popping up.
We stayed on them for about 6 months.
Yeah, that was hard. Obviously, there was 4 of us.
Topping it up every week.
It just gets, I've got no credit, actually got to top it up. And so there we went into Optus. There are other companies, but Optus seemed pretty decent. Just proof of address, is it again, I think? So yeah, basically your driving licence. Driving licence does it all over, I think. Just go into your local store. I did think you couldn't get a contract as such, but you can pretty much get one. I think
we're on like a monthly rolling plan, but
it seems to be quite good. They don't tie you in over here as much.
No.
Like with our internet as well, I think you've only got to give a month's notice to quit that, and same with like your gas and electricity.
We were suspiciously, weren't we, because we're British, we were like, well, is there any tie-in, or are we tied in for a year, or can we see it in writing that we can get out quick?
They do look at you funny, they're like, what?
So we're on a family plan, and this seems like quite a good deal. Don't have to top up each week anymore.
Yeah, it's handy, isn't it? And as you can, with ours, a pool of data, so like share it out 4 ways. So yeah, that's pretty much kind of the same again. How do you open a bank account?
Yeah, so there are some accounts that you can open before you come to Australia. Commonwealth is definitely one of them, and I think you can open it within 14 days of arriving. So that's really good. And I remember I did mine online. It was pretty easy. And then obviously you have to have an address for it to go to, so you can't really do it unless you know where you're going to be. Yeah. I had it sent to a work address, but then I can't remember what happened, but I ended up having to go into branch to collect it. I don't know why I didn't go to work, but I guess the main thing is that you need to have an address here already, so if you don't, then you can just open one when you arrive. You just walk into the bank, ask to set up a bank account. If you're lucky, they'll let you see someone there and then, or they'll usually maybe ask you to make an appointment and come back.
So same thing again, passport, banks on a passport, your letting agreement, if you got a proof of address or whatever. Also with your tax file number, we tried to do that, obviously you hadn't arrived, so I tried to get yours set up, but because they asked for your passport number, obviously they know when you've arrived in the country, and they said, well, because she's not on shore yet, you can't do it. So you can't do your tax file number as well until you are here.
But tax file number is really important to set up as soon as you arrive, because it takes a while for it to come through. And if you're already starting work and you don't have your tax number, then you'll be emergency taxed and you won't be able to get that back until, it's not like England where tax corrects itself every month or every week or however you're paid. You literally have to wait until everybody does their tax return end of June. Or
they just kind of guess, don't they? They just go, well, that much, we'll worry about it in June or whatever. Right, next one.
What's the best way to find a job?
Well, what is the best way? I used a app called Seek, so that was pretty good. You basically upload your CV, cover letter, obviously what skills you've got, and then it just tells the area you want to look in.
It's a bit like Indeed.
But it's pretty good. It's got a quick apply as well, so you can just look through, answer a few questions. If you've got a licence, how long have you been doing the job, So yeah, we recommend Seek, or for me anyway, it was
Yes, what found you employment sponsor?
yeah, four job offers. So yeah, use Seek. I'm sure there are others around. We not really used any more to be fair, but they get a thumbs up.
So, next question is, how do I enroll my kids in school? And I guess what's important, first of all, is to explain that here there's public schools and there's private schools. And we're talking about Brisbane, but I know it differs state to state, especially according to what visa you're on. So, I think, for example, if we were on a 482 in a different state, not Queensland, then to put your kid into public school, you may have to pay. Whereas here in Queensland, we have a child in a public school, and although you have to pay for various things more than if you were in public school in the UK. For example, we had to pay at the beginning of the year hundreds of dollars for licenses and books. So all the kids use laptops here, they have to have a laptop. And so, yeah, we had to be in catchment as well. But a lot of people do send their kids to private school here because it's a lot cheaper than UK. I feel like it's about $8,000 a year, which if you know how much private school fees are in UK, that's obviously considerably cheaper. But obviously it's personal preference, and sometimes you might not be in a location where you can get your child into public school, and so you have to pay for private school. But I know you found the whole process quite painful, didn't you?
Yes, it was. Obviously, catchment is a big one. So it's called ED Maps. So obviously check that out. So it's quite funny. There's another video about you could be one side of the street will be in catchment, but then the other side will not be in catchment, which is, they're very strict on it. So yeah, make sure you're in catchment for the school you want to go to.
They wanted all sorts of documents, didn't they?
The enrolment process is kind of like getting interviewed by the receptionist. So be prepared to take everything.
I remember on the application form they wanted to know what our occupations were, and I'm pretty sure how much we earn, even though we were enrolling into a public school. So
there's different grades of what jobs you have. So if you have a skilled job, you're on a certain grade. If you're a manager, so you've got to put what grade you're in for your job, qualifications, if any, that you've got from your old school. And also report cards. I think you've got the last 3 terms of report cards, so make sure you download them, or you've got a paper copy when you come over, and make sure everything's printed off, because I went there and said, oh look, I'll email it to you. She's like, no, you have to get it printed off. That's when the library came in.
Birth certificates, marriage certificates, they wanted everything.
Yeah. So be prepared for that, because they get quite funny about it if you don't answer every question. And same again, passports, proof of everything. So
next question: how do I get around Brisbane without a car?
This is your expertise, this one.
So I post about this a lot on Instagram. Public transport here is so good, and my colleagues and people I know who are Australian here at work or outside of work, I feel like they complain about public transport all the time, but I feel like if they knew what public transport was like in the UK, they would not be complaining, because honestly the trains really run quite well on time. Yes, I have experienced cancelled trains, but not as much as in UK. They're not as late as they are in UK, certainly not as expensive as they are in UK. The public transport system runs on a Go card, so basically you have this card that you top up, and then you just swipe it when you get to the train station, and then when you get to the other end, you swipe it again. They have a similar system in Denmark, for example, and that works really well. So yeah, honestly, getting around Brisbane without a car is really good, but all Australians seem to drive. They don't seem to take public transport.
You've got bikes you can hire, scooters, so you can get around, and you're quite lucky with the weather. So yeah. And our last one, this is flying by.
Are there many British expats in Brisbane?
Yes, there are. Well, the ones, we've made a few friends, and obviously they're British. And yeah, most, like I said, I've played football. I'll say 95% of the people on the team are in and around England. So you got Scottish, Irish. There's a lot over here.
I feel like you can't go anywhere without hearing a British accent. I agree. In the beauty salon where I get my hair and that done, there's definitely at least 2 English people there. In the other places I go, Scottish, there's British people at work.
They're about, and there's obviously groups on Facebook and stuff like that. So if you arrive over here, there's always someone maybe close to you that can like help you out with a few things, bits and bobs.
So it's weird as well. You seem to be, not that you go looking for it, but
No.
you seem to be drawn to other British people. So I don't know.
It's weird, but yeah, there are a few, aren't there?
Yes. So great questions.
Yeah, I think we've answered them all. Yeah, there's loads more to go through on Instagram, so we'll get through those again. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up.
You can chuck any questions you've got in the comments and we'll try and answer them in a later video.
So thanks for watching.
And we'll see you again soon.
See you in the next one.